Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Friday, August 2nd, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty bus and we will begin our tour. The Vatican Project, this is just kind of an interesting article. Hitler's daughter walks in her father's footsteps. This article puts forth the idea that Angela Merkel is Hitler's daughter. So read and judge for yourselves. There are some things that do make sense. And you may have heard about this yesterday. Be careful what you Google. A family was, the father was Googling crock pots or pressure cookers, something like that, to cook quinoa, because it has to get soft when you cook it. And the mother at the same time was searching for backpacks. So because of the Boston bombing, some NSA scan somewhere showed that this family was searching for backpacks and pressure cookers simultaneously, and their house was SWAT teamed. So, I've mentioned Start Page before, which is supposed to be a secure search engine, and there is VPN that can hide your internet activity. Just think about something like that, or you have to really be aware of every single thing that you look at online because it is being tracked, and that is pretty strong proof of that. And here's some unfortunate news. I guess, if you think about this, you kind of know. If you look at any of the radiation maps or anything of that nature, you're aware that Fukushima there's still a real issue there with the release of a lot of radiation. Fukushima Reactor 3 on fire and smoking. Besides, and also Gulf oil platform burning. So now I mentioned this to my husband, Fukushima Reactor 3 on fire and smoking. Usually I'm the optimist in the family, but he said, well, maybe they're using Brown's gas to get rid of all of the nuclear waste, which is possible. So, there's a little happy spin on that idea. We hope. There's more information coming out about Benghazi. Representative Wolf, sources say CIA was moving guns in Benghazi, and Breitbart reported on this, but so did a lot of other people. So there was a cover-up. CIA was moving guns. Where were they moving guns? They were moving them to Syria, to Al-Qaeda in Syria. And, is this related somehow? 40 dead, over 120 injured in Syria ammo depot blast. And, there are so many shady things going on in so many different places. This monster needs to have the head cut off, really. And that is, the leaders probably at the top of the cabal. And I'm not suggesting that they be killed or anything like that. I just, want them out of power. When you cut a head off, you remove the brain from the nervous system, and that's, we need to disable this whole evil system because this evil just keeps self-perpetuating. And the Homs explosion looks like a low-yield nuke. And I believe that they're just going by the video, whether it was a nuclear device or not. I'm not stating that. Just, there is some speculation about that. And hey, if black aspects of our government, and by black I mean black ops, if they want to cover something up, they'll use whatever means necessary. And, you know, the World Trade Towers were blown up partly because there were records in some of those basements that would have incriminated these people. So they very well know how to destroy the evidence against themselves. That's why it's so important that we have whistleblowers and that whistleblowers are protected. Carrington class event. The world escaped an EMP catastrophe. Yeah, we escaped. So that's good news in my book. And I see the comparison here between what people are doing and God's grace and how He protected us from this. And He constantly is protecting us, and there, you know, we all have guardian angels around us, so we can be glad for that. And especially, I think, when we're stepping out in some areas that maybe we feel more threatened, as long as we're exercising wisdom and you know, being obedient to the Lord, not getting way out in pride, feeling like we're invulnerable. He does protect us. So, and just as I mentioned, you know, just the evil of the cabal pertaining to the arms in Syria and being willing to use nuclear detonation in order to cover their tracks. Somebody made a comment yesterday on the video from yesterday on YouTube about, you know, the cabal doesn't feel any sense of guilt or, you know, I'm not so sure. There's a Bible verse that says a righteous man has regard for the life of his animals, but the mercy of the wicked is cruel. You know, I do think that sometimes people convince themselves that they are being merciful when they're actually being cruel. Now, I know that the cabal is, for the most part, intentional, decided evil. But there are other people involved who may actually believe that they are doing good. And here's a little update on the Glass-Steagall. Larouche, our intention is to bankrupt Wallstreet. Well, that's ambitious, and I wish Lyndon Larouche and his pack well. We will keep an eye on that and see what progress he makes. But, you know, aside from bankrupting Wall Street, the Glass-Steagall just really makes so very much sense. And it has been, in the past, a true protection that people won't lose their savings that they put in banks. I mean, we have the FDIC, yes, but did you know that FDIC only covers you up to $250,000? So if you know, say you have a parent who passes away, your family sells a house, and it's, you know, they've been there a while, it's in California, and you know, you might get a substantial amount of money. Well, guess what? FDIC does not protect that. And as in Cyprus, the banks actually took money out of people's accounts. We definitely need as much protection against the banks gone mad as we possibly can have. Federal court, no warrant is required for law enforcement to track your location via cell phone records. And the Activist Post has this article. Yeah, so just be aware of that. You probably already are aware of that. You can be tracked, and all of your activities can be monitored via your cell phone. So if you're maybe on a long trip, you want to travel incognito, and you know, as we saw with the family that was searching for the backpacks and the pressure cookers, you don't have to be doing something wrong in order to be targeted, and that's really the issue. So if you're traveling and you don't want a whole lot of extra law enforcement to deal with, you might want to consider putting your cell phone into a case that prevents it from broadcasting your location. Or, you know, I think a metal box would even work, like a strong box, and, you know, a little money box. But you might want to research that on your own and take some action there to protect yourself. And this breaking, another Aurora-style theater shooting averted. And this quote is, "I can see their line of thinking. It worked once, so let's do it again." And this article is from the big picture. So yeah, they're attempting these. There are, as I said before, with the head needs to be cut off. It really is like an octopus with a lot of tentacles. All these different evil plans are being executed at the same time, and some of them fail and some of them succeed. But there are so many resources behind this evil that they just keep trying. It's we really, if a change doesn't come, it's going to become more and more and more difficult to resist this octopus, shall we say. And after all that, I think that we need some good news. So I have a couple articles here. Positive mental states encourage health and longevity. So it really is important. I've talked at different times about generating luge, about emanating love, peace, joy, or emanating fear, anger, hatred. That the being in the higher emotions, love, joy, peace, hope, can not only it does. I truly that it impacts the world around us and raises the, not to be too new agey, but this is a scientific fact, raises the vibration. It also, in so doing, makes it more likely that you will live longer and be healthier and definitely feel better. And another bit of good news, cancer breakthrough, probiotics may save patients from deadly chemotherapy. Antibiotics may cause chemo to be fatal. Now, chemo's not my first choice of treatment, and I would hope that anybody going through this horrible experience would look around and find other options. But during chemotherapy, probiotics can help. They boost your immune system, which chemotherapy weakens, and they just help your body in many respects. And the guy who started the company GT Dave's Kombucha actually began preparing kombucha when his mother had breast cancer, and he is convinced that the kombucha helped his mother survive, and that's one reason why he founded the company, to make this really healthy probiotic drink widely available. So kudos to him. And last but certainly not least, a good idea to finish with and to think about for those positive emotions. Free energy breakthrough, holy grail of water splitting technology now achieved with sunlight, mirrors, and seawater. And this certainly does seem like a breakthrough. And just as a reminder, if we can have energy independence as people, it breaks the back of big oil, which is the back, effectively, of the banking cabal, along with banking, of course. But this oil has been historically the source of a lot of fortunes being made and control being maintained. So any energy breakthrough that allows people to be energy independent is fantastic news. And the daily tour is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions, and we thank you for joining us for today's tour. The dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. hoping that you will have a great weekend, that you will love one another, that you'll find time to do something fun, you'll take care and insist on liberty.